Hello everybody, Simyakdas here today to start a brand new playthrough I've been very excited for a long time. I'm starting one of Capcom's biggest series ever, Devil May Cry. I wish I would have said that more in sync. Anyway, something different about this playthrough is I'm going to be playing with the legendary Dark Knight Sparda, which turns you into Dante's father, Sparda.
Devil May Cry.
2 millenniums ago, there was a war between the human world and the other, the underworld. But somebody from the underworld woke up to justice and stood up against this legion alone. His name was Sparda. Later, he quietly reigned the human world and continued to preserve harmony until his death. He became a legend. The legendary Dark Knight, Sparda.
Just a quick heads up, something weird that happens. I'm playing the PC version of the HD collection, and yeah, I have this issue where any cutscene that uses the in-game models, as well as featuring a lot of heavy particle effects, causes this weird audio delay, but gameplay and
Devil May
pre-rendered
Cry.
cutscenes sound perfectly fine.
Sorry, we closed at 9. Again, no password. I can't seem to get any real business. Whoa, slow down, babe. Well, what do we have here? Nature calls? It's in the back.
So, you must be the handyman who'll take any dirty job. Am I correct?
Almost. I only take special jobs, if you know what I mean.
You're the man who lost a mother and a brother to evil 20 years ago. The son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparda, Mr. Dante.
That cutscene's awkward, seeing as I'm playing as Sparda.
The way I figure it, in this business a lot of your kind comes around. And if I kill each one that comes, eventually I should hit the jackpot sooner or later.
In that case, you should be used to this sort of thing.
And initiate weird audio issues. I'm gonna start talking over it now just because it doesn't particularly sound that great. And honestly, if one of you could suggest me a fix, or if I could find a fix myself, I would love to implement it. Because it sucks. You know, I like my audio to sound proper, which is honestly my biggest struggle in most of my videos. But fortunately, it works fine when it comes to actual gameplay, and that's most of what the game is. This game isn't super cutscene heavy. So I think I can live with the slight issues there are.
There's demonic blood in me.
So, without getting into too many story details, she basically shocks Dante and then throws the motorcycle at him. And then when she sees that he's just fine, she decides to come up with another plan to work alongside Dante.
But I'm not your enemy.
And I'm commentating along with the audio, so me saying that was slightly ahead of what the actual footage had.
What?
Watching it back in post, though, there's some weird pauses in the cutscenes dialogue. Like, Dante just kind of had his gun, or I guess Sparda in this case, had his gun pointed at her for a while before she even said anything. I guess that would be loose, since it's a silver one. Ivory if this were the Dante outfits. And here's where the audio is just fine.
20 years ago, Mundus, the Emperor of the Underworld, resurrected.
Mundus.
Yes. His powers were sealed by Sparda. He's attempting to gain control of the human world once again. He has been preparing to open the gate on Mallet Island. The castle is above this cliff.
Back to the messed up because it uses the in-game models, I honestly don't know what's causing this issue, but it's not too big of a deal. So, right off the bat, longtime fans of the series are going to notice this game's it's a little more stiff than what we currently have, you know, now that it's 2021 and we have up to Devil May Cry 5. This game doesn't have a free camera, and the combat is a lot more... I don't want to say stiff, because that makes it sound like the combat isn't good, but by all means it is really good combat system. It's just a little rigid, and here's kind of some of that rigidness. I'm just desperately trying to perform what's known as a wall hike to get on top of the sledge to get an item known as a blue orb, but I just really couldn't do it for a while. Wall hiking is what happens if you jump into a wall and then press the jump button when making contact with the wall. You essentially just get a second jump, and it's pretty handy. Blue orbs are kind of like pieces of heart from Zelda, in that when you collect 4 of them, you get your life bar extended. I know Zelda doesn't have a life bar as much as it does like a heart meter, but still. And so here's just a little bit more of demonstrating either the game being stiff or me just being really bad at platforming. I'm desperately trying to get to the point of the lance that statue has, because if you stand on that point, you get a ton of red orbs, and I want that, but I just can't quite get it. So, it happens. That might happen a couple times. I'll try platforming, it just won't work, so I just get pissed and shoot the statue a little bit. So, you might notice my achievement thing just went crazy when I collected a single red orb. That's because I've played through this on the Switch and the PS4 versions of DMC1, and I've done everything there was to do on those versions. So for this version, I was like, you know, I don't want to do all that stuff a third time before I can record the game, so I just got a save file that's already been completed, so I could just start here without having to spend a very long time trying to unlock that stuff, because it took me a while to beat this game's hard mode, and then its Dante Must Die mode. But that's complete non-issue, because we're playing on normal, and my gameplay will look competent in this case. So basically what you want to do is you want to run around and try to collect 45 red orbs to open a door that has this red force field on it. And if you stand by the door without pressing anything on it, or if you just stand by the door and do nothing, a hand will come out and slap you. Kinda just slap some sense into Dante, I guess. I didn't comment on it earlier, but we collected our second blue orb fragment on the top left corner of the room, or I guess if the camera's being weird. Okay, yeah. Potentially the top left corner of the room, depending on the camera angle. This uses a fixed camera, very Resident Evil on the PS1 style. So it's all kind of relative depending on what the camera wants to do. And you'll notice I slash at doors a lot because I'm used to my control scheme. The button to slice, or the button I have mapped to slash my sword, I'm used to being open doors. So I'll do that a lot. You get your third orb fragment from breaking that second to last statue of knights. And that's pretty good, seeing as you need 4 to get a life bar upgrade, and we've already collected 3 of them within about 10 minutes. Comes in pretty handy, if I do say so myself. And I'm just going around breaking things, because I would like red orbs. Red orbs are the currency of the game. Something you definitely want to have around. And something else we want to have around is a way to the way to progress. And to do that, if I would go over there, we need to interact with this puppet-looking thing. And if we do, we notice that there's a rusty key. Now we can just leave. I'm sure that puppet won't do anything. Oh, okay. Well, the puppets come to life in this game. If you have some strange phobia for marionettes, you might want to avoid this game, because they're everywhere, and they also have really sharp saw hands, the ability to light themselves on fire, only some of them, and the ability to rocket kunai at you, or I think it's kunai they're throwing at you. They're throwing something and it friggin' hurts. They're pretty much the cannon fodder of the first game, though. There's in every game in the series there's cannon fodder, whether it's like the Hell Brides, the Impuza. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Anyways, in this game it's just the marionettes. They're not too hard, but they do gang up on you in groups. Don't know why I went into this room. This is just something we cannot do yet. It's meant for way later. Well, not like way later. With our newfound rusty key, we can take it all the way back down the stairs and out the door, after I slice the door, to the blue room, or the blue door that was next to this red door we just went to. I ran the complete wrong way. I don't know what I was thinking during gameplay, because I was clearly thinking, okay, go to the blue door, that's what I need to do, and I just ran the wrong way. There's not too much to do in this room as it currently stands, except for grabbing our fourth red orb, not red orb, I keep doing that, our fourth blue orb fragment. It's on top of this biplane, and it took me a while to figure out the best way to just jump up there, and I still messed it up as I got up there. Seems very like a me thing to do. Anyways, with that, we're about 12 minutes in, and we've already got our first health upgrade. That's pretty good. Now the other thing to do in the room, don't know why I said there wasn't much, there were two things for us to do in the room. We have to wail on this switch, or this device on the wall that just turns out to be a switch. And it takes us lower. I do gotta wonder why they have all these marionettes just kind of hanging from the roof. Oh yeah, they are kunai. Nice. I also gotta wonder who's manipulating them, because you can see they're attached to strings from the roof. So clearly someone has to, some giant invisible hand has to be controlling these marionettes. I have no idea. Anyways, this is a good time to talk about the combat of this game. It's semi-free-flowing, not nearly as free-flowing as 3 Onward, but it's got enough to it. You have about 3 slash combos. The one I do most is 2 slashes, and then pause, and then mash to do what's known as a million stab, which in later games is way differently activated. Now, there we have a green orb, which fills our health. And here's where I kind of start to get into what makes the Sparda outfit so much different than the Dante outfit, and why it's actually kind of worth showing. So, as you'll notice earlier, I accidentally popped Devil Trigger, which is where you activate your demon form, and I just barely didn't have enough to activate it again. Oh well. Now, with the Sparda costume, we also get a new weapon known as Yamato. Fans of the series will know that is Virgil's sword, and currently is Virgil's sword, but before it was Virgil's, it was their father's. And as I'm currently trying to demonstrate, but my mind was not in the right place when I recorded this. I'm trying to show the handguns Luce and Ambra, which are Sparda's handmade pistols. Interestingly enough, currently in the series, Trish actually has those pistols, and it never explains how she got them, or at least how Dante got them to give it to her. It explains that Dante gave them to her. Got an A rank, nice. A rank not really doing anything special. This game's style system is pretty much non-existent. It's just wail on them, and if you wail on them enough, you get a higher rating and more orbs. Those hands also try to smack you. If you see any barriers, just don't stand by them. You will get smacked. I do taunting a lot on accident. Just because, you know, it's a good thing to do. Anyways, that is the first mission of the game. Some videos will be one mission, some will probably be a couple, because there are missions you can beat in about 50 seconds, if you know what you're doing. So yeah, if you're looking forward to this playthrough, so am I. I'll see you guys in the next video.